What's good, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of the Hurls and Smalls Show. Week 1 is in the books. Smalls, how you doing?
Pretty good, brother. How about yourself?
Not bad, not bad. We're filming this right after the Niners just picked up the dub on Monday Night Football, so I'm feeling pretty good.
Unbelievably boring game.
Before we get into this week's games, we got a couple contract extensions that happened over the week that we want to talk about. Smalls, I'll let you do that.
There was numerous contracts, actually. We're not going to talk about all of them. If y'all want to know, just look them up. Davis Mills.
We spent 5 minutes talking about fucking Davis Mills before we started because Smalls wanted to bring that up. But continue.
The world deserves to know.
But continue.
Pat Surtain got paid the biggest contract in defensive back history. He got 4 years, $96 million, with $77.5 guaranteed. How we feel about that?
I don't really have any thoughts on it. I think it's well deserved. I think he's the best cornerback in the league. I still think he is. Him, Sauce.
I agree.
But I still think Patrick Surtain is the best quarterback in the league. But it didn't last long. It never lasts long in the NFL. Everybody just wants to be
24 hours later.
Labeled the highest paid. Jalen Ramsey. Yeah.
And regained his throne. The greatest defensive back in football right now. And he got
Did you not just say Patrick Surtain was?
No, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. I think Jalen Ramsey's I might have said he was the best.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Jalen Ramsey's the best.
Is the best. Okay, that's fine.
Ramsey got 3 years, $72.3 million with $55.3 guaranteed. Great contract. Congratulations. But on top of those two, the big news, Dak Prescott got his 4 years, $240 million with $231 million guaranteed. Just absolutely crazy bag. $60 million a year.
Yeah. I definitely thought this was Dak's last season before with the Cowboys. I was telling everybody, if anybody were to ask me, I was telling them, I think this is Dak's last year because they just paid CD like $30+ million a year. They just gave Dak $60 million a year. And by the end of the season, Micah Parsons, probably maybe the best defensive player in the league, is going to want a new contract. So they're kind of going to be strapped. So that's why I said I thought this was Dak's last year with the Cowboys, but man, I guess
I didn't think Dak was going anywhere. $60 million is a lot of money, man.
Somebody would have done it.
What surprises me is you had so long to give him that money, and you wait until the day of your first game.
Yeah,
that's not what I would want my franchise quarterback to be thinking about.
It's the same thing with Brandon Ayuk. Not to bring it back to the Niners, but it's literally the same thing with him. The Niners could have got this done.
Was a little bit ahead of time.
He asked for a new contract right after the Super Bowl. But it happened a week before the season, and that everybody else got paid, so it brought up his numbers. So, I don't get when franchises do it, but, Dak's $60 million a year, highest paid quarterback. And, the Cowboys are going to be, they're going to be tight on cap for after Micah Parsons get paid. But for now, they're in win-now mode. Before the season, Jerry Jones said they're going all in, so, I guess.
So. Dak said that he believes they can win the Super Bowl.
They can.
After the first game, can't say he's wrong.
Yeah. But before we get into the games for the week, I wanted to come up with a segment. I didn't know what to call this. It's some overreactions to week 1. I didn't know what to call this, so I have 8 of them. So you just tell me if I'm crazy or not. And these are not personally things that I, believe. It's just like I said, overreactions about week 1. Number 1, the Chiefs will repeat, and the only team that can beat them is in the NFC. Whether it's the Niners, the Eagles, the Lions, they will three-peat, and if they were to lose, it would only be because of a team in the NFC, which means they will be in the Super Bowl.
There's never been a three-peat in the Super Bowl era of the NFL, which is kind of crazy to think of. I can't say you're crazy at all for that take. The Chiefs are just unbelievable. They drafted Xavier Worthy, who's like the fastest man in the world. They drafted that tackle who was phenomenal for them over there. Kingsley something. And I can't say you're wrong, man. That I want to say the Ravens got a chance, but I don't know.
So you agree? You agree with that overreaction?
I wouldn't say I fully agree, but I would say that you're
But it's not crazy. Okay.
Definitely not crazy.
Another one I have. Michael Penix will start at least 8 games this season.
Dude,
These
I
are just
love Michael Penix.
overreactions. Remember, these are
I
just
don't like
overreactions.
left-handed quarterbacks,
Uh-huh.
but I love Michael Penix, and I was so sad that he got drafted there because
Hmm.
I don't like Kirk Cousins.
I
I
don't
haven't
know
liked Kirk
why.
Cousins
I don't
for
know why.
years.
Granted, he did have a bad game, but I don't know
He was
why you don't like
horrible.
him. He
He
was.
was
He was. He
horrible on
was.
Sunday.
He was. I'm not denying that, but I don't know. I don't get the hate for Kirk Cousins.
I believe the Falcons can be a competent team, but
Hmm.
if they start very slow, I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Penix gets some starts. If Kirk Cousins gets pushed to the side to let the rookie start.
So,
Because they sat him their final preseason game and said they had seen everything they needed to
hmm
see. And if you're
hmm
he's a backup. Why is he not it's just a weird situation, dude. I don't understand it at all.
so you don't think I'm crazy for that one either?
I don't think you're crazy again, no, but
Okay.
I disagree. I don't think it'll happen.
Okay. This one you may have some pushback on. Kind of dealing with Michael Penix as well. The best quarterback from this draft class has not played yet. So this past week, in terms of rookie quarterbacks, we saw Caleb Williams, we saw Jaden Daniels, and we saw Bo Nix. So my overreaction is saying either Drake May or Michael Penix is the best quarterback from this draft.
I think the best quarterback of this class played, and I think the worst quarterback of this class played.
Being Bo Nix, you're calling the worst quarterback from this class?
I think he's horrible. I didn't like him in college.
Mm.
Not a fan of him now either.
So that one you are calling me crazy.
Oh, 100%. I think Jaden Daniels is unbelievable.
You're saying Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback from this class. No, I thought you were saying it was Caleb. Okay.
I think they're both better than Penix and Drake May.
Okay.
No disrespect to Drake May. Yeah. I think he'll also be good, but
just an overreaction again. Another one. Deshaun Watson is done and is only playing because of his contract.
I hate that the news came out today that he's getting sued again.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's an absolute. I'm not going to get into his character. I'm not a fan of the guy. I would love to see them go a different route.
Mm-hmm. So you agree?
When we get to the Browns, we'll talk about him more, but he's just not good.
He is not. I have some stuff to say about him too.
They need to move on.
All right, I have a few more. Justin Fields should be the starter for the rest of the season. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say to this one.
You see that team right up there, Ohio State? Uh-huh. That comes before everything else in my fandom.
Mm-hmm.
I love Justin Fields. Mm-hmm. Other than Ezekiel Elliott, he might be my favorite Buckeye in the league. I think he's just miles ahead of Russell Wilson. And you said that when our first episode, you told me Russell Wilson should start, and I disagreed with you.
I did believe Russell was, if he was healthy, he
didn't score a touchdown, but
yeah.
Justin looked good.
He did. Didn't turn the ball over, like you said. Didn't score a touchdown, but didn't turn the ball over and won the game. And that's all that matters.
The reason they went Russ was to game manage, and Justin proved that he can game manage, and I just think he's better at everything else in the field as well.
Okay. All right. This is a burning hot one. No. The Bucks will win the NFC South, and Baker will be top 5 in MVP voting.
The Bucks will win the NFC South. I believe that pretty confidently, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Top 5 MVP. You got Pat, Josh, Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
I think Matt Stafford will be up there.
You think? Baker had the best. Baker had the best quarterback. Best game by any quarterback this past weekend.
I love Baker. I can't say I love Baker. I love Baker's story. I think it's awesome that he found a home.
Yeah.
But I don't think he'll be top 5. I think he'll have a great season, and he had a great season last year. I think they go 10-7, 11-6, 9-8, something like that.
Okay.
I do think they'll be the best team in that division.
All right, I have 2 more. This one is a pretty easy one. This isn't really an overreaction. I don't think it is. The Panthers fans should be ready for the number 1 overall pick and a new quarterback next season.
Whoa.
47-10. 47-10. Not only the number 1 pick, but a new quarterback next season.
We'll get to them when we talk about that game, man.
Sounds like you don't want to say it, but you agree.
I think they'll have They'll have a top 2 pick. I think the Broncos just absolutely stink, but
you think
they'll
have
a top 2 pick.
Okay. Will they have a new quarterback next season?
No, man. I want to say no.
You want to say no, but what should you say?
I'm super high on him. Last episode, I told people to buy in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize. That was terrible advice.
Mm-hmm.
However,
Yeah.
I am not selling my stock because it's not getting any lower.
Yeah. No. No. Yeah. Okay.
He was the number one pick for a reason.
Okay. And my last one: the Patriots will not be picking in the top 5 of the draft. So that means they'll have.
I'm not going to mention any names, but I had a really good buddy of mine predict them to go 1-16. So I would like to bounce it back to him to see what he thinks.
And this same buddy said records didn't matter. It was just where I thought everyone would finish. Records did not matter. I'm pretty sure that's what that same buddy said. But this is overreactions based off of week 1, not based off what I had preseason. These are strictly just based off of what we saw in week 1.
That Patriots defense is legit, man.
Mm-hmm.
That offense is. Mm-hmm. Me and you could probably start out there, but.
I swear I was gonna come on here and say that. I was writing stuff down about the Patriots, and I was gonna come on here and say that. Yeah, so the Patriots will not be picking in the top 5.
I can see it. I don't think that's super hot.
Okay. Or what do you think was my hottest one?
Baker MVP.
Baker MVP. Okay, I could. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I had. I just wanted to get through some overreactions based off of week 1. Yeah, I didn't think they were too crazy. I think I probably agree the Baker one is probably the craziest one.
A little segment. I liked it.
Or what?
I said that was a cool little segment. I like it.
Yeah. I tried to just think of something. But yeah, we can get into the games from last week. Do you want to start with the Thursday and Friday games before we got to?
Let's go right in order.
All right. We can start.
So starting off, Ravens Chiefs Thursday night football in Arrowhead. Mm-hmm. Like we said, no team has ever repeated before, or not repeated, three-peated before. Before the game started, there was an interview with Roquan Smith. I know he's your boy, and he said that the game plan. Roquan Smith, not your boy.
When did Roquan Smith become my boy?
You said he's the second best linebacker in football.
Yeah, but he's just not. Okay, continue.
I mean, I thought he was your boy. My fault.
No. Continue.
He said their game plan was to stop the run and make them one-dimensional. Mm-hmm. The Kansas City Chiefs stopped the run and make them one-dimensional.
And that's exactly what I had written down for this game. Before the season started, everybody with the Ravens, me included, was talking about how is anyone going to guard the Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry backfield? How are you going to stop a read option between them two? In the way they stopped it is the Chiefs have the corners to guard downfield. If you can't throw the ball downfield, no one has to worry about that run game because they'll just load the box, know you're not throwing it down the field, and they'll have everybody down there to stop whether it's Lamar Jackson keeping it or Derrick Henry taking the handoff. So if the Ravens can't get a downfield passing game going, this Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry run game isn't going to be what everybody predicted. It's kind of just going to be a bit of a disappointment because they just can't, like I said, they just can't push the ball downfield based off of just this one game. They could change, but
it makes me sad to see how much Justice Hill played, man. Like, I got nothing against him, but it's like so many snaps away from Derrick, and you give Derrick is so talented. I want to see. Let's see how they can incorporate him more into the offense as the season goes on.
Carried it 13 times for 46 yards. He got into the end zone, but yeah, not a great debut from Derrick Henry.
He had way more carries than Justice, but Justice was in all third down back.
Yeah, he was always in on third down. Yeah, he's a better pass catching back. I would say he's definitely a better pass catching back.
I agree, but Derrick is 6 for 52.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. I would like to say though that with Aaron Donald gone, whether you consider him an edge, a D tackle, whatever he is, Chris Jones, I think is confidently the best D tackle.
Clearly.
He was doing whatever
of all
he
time?
wanted, man. I feel bad for that. No. Did I say of all time?
That's what I heard. I don't know. That's what I heard. Maybe you didn't, but I thought that's what you said.
I meant if I said all time, I definitely didn't mean that. I meant in the league right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
He was going wherever he wanted to line up against whichever lineman
he was calling out. Yeah, he was just calling out whoever he wanted, and he was just he was blowing that backfield up. Yeah,
I felt bad for that line, that young line. They got rid of their old guy.
That Ravens O-line did not look good. It did not look good at all.
That's an understatement. It looked horrible.
It did. Lamar Jackson was running for his life. A lot of his scrambles weren't design runs. They were just he had to just get out of the pocket or else he would take a sack. So yeah.
I hate how much he had to run. It wasn't like usually Lamar is Lamar. He's gonna run, but he had to.
Yeah.
and it was terrible. But I do like that Lamar. He looked way leaner. He
Leaner.
lost 15 pounds this offseason. He looked good,
Yeah,
and
he
he looks
did.
fast.
He did.
And you can tell that they're giving him more confidence.
Yeah, he's calling the
He's
plays.
controlling the
He controlled
entire
the
game. Yeah.
offense. Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. He definitely is. Yeah. And on the Chiefs side of things, Xavier Worthy, the rookie. It's like who let that happen? Who let that happen? Who let it happen? And I want to say they looked that fast without Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown didn't play week
Yep.
1 and they looked that fast. So
And then their second round pick, like I said, Kingsley Suamatia, he was phenomenal at left tackle.
Rashee Rice
had
had
a
a really
better
good
first and
game.
second round.
Yeah.
He was great.
Travis Kelce didn't do much of anything, but it didn't matter.
There's a guy on that roster. He caught a ball in the end zone and he got rocked and he was coming down and dropped it. I was cheering so loud at that screen, dude.
When he dropped it,
almost had a touchdown.
Oh, you were hyped.
Almost had a touchdown.
And that just got. We'll move on.
I love Juju, dude.
We'll move on.
L'Jarius Sneed has gone to the Titans, and Trent McDuffie still looked phenomenal. And I like that out of him. And Steve Spagnuolo deserves a coaching job.
He's somewhere you would think he'd be coaching, but no, he's still just a coordinator for the Chiefs. And we can move on to the Friday night game. Eagles and Packers. This was a high-scoring game, but it was ugly. It was ugly. It was an ugly high-scoring game. That field was terrible. Terrible. People were slipping on every single play. But you couldn't ask for a better debut than what Saquon Barkley did. Rushed for 109, had 2 touchdowns on the ground, and had another one through the air. You couldn't ask for a better game.
I was so excited to see this running back duel. Josh Jacobs versus Saquon, both on new teams. Saquon, I'm so sorry, brother. You dominated, and KB thought that he was losing off of that one game. And the rest of my team.
Oh, you played him. Oh, yeah, that was you. Yeah, you played him.
I played him.
How much did you end up losing by?
35. I lost by 3 points. Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert just wants to do nothing.
We'll get it. Wasn't his fault.
All out.
And I only won because Jake Moody had 26 points.
I saw that.
I won by 2 because he had 26 points. But yeah, this was not a pretty game. Jalen Hurts just wanted. It looked like he tried to throw 10 interceptions.
He had some stupid mistakes.
He was not good. He was not good. As I said, this game was super sloppy. Even that last drive they had to close out the game. It was an ugly drive, but they closed it out. They had like 8 minutes left to go down and just run out the clock. They did it, but yeah, Jalen Hurts was not good. Both those interceptions, it wasn't like a tip ball or a wrong, receiver ran the wrong route, had a fumble, yeah. And him in that center.
I was most excited for going into this game was to see the Packers receivers where they were at because nobody knew they're all talented.
Yeah,
and in my opinion, it looks like Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson are kind of sharing the top receiver spot, depending on the route that they're running.
Really,
it'll go there. And then Jaden Reed is in the slot, and he's just their best guy.
Yeah, Jaden Reed is their best receiver. Yeah,
and he's so fast.
Dontavian Wicks had a couple of drops. I think he dropped one in the end zone. I can't remember. It was Friday. I think he dropped one in the end zone, and I think Christian Watson did as well, or he got hit. But yeah, Jaden Reed looks like their best guy right now. Again, I was the same way because they had like 4 of them. You really didn't know who was going to be the one to stand out from the rest, and it looks like it's Jaden Reed.
So, it's Jaden Reed for sure.
And prayers up to Jordan Love.
Get well soon.
Get well soon.
Broke my heart.
Yeah, on the last 2 plays, yeah. And Malik Willis comes in and just takes a sack.
Malik Willis has officially been announced the starter for next week.
Yeah, good luck to them. It's gonna be rough for the Packers. You really hope what's his face Jordan Love can come back as soon as possible because everybody in the Division 1 but them. And coming up, they got the Colts who looked pretty solid this past weekend. They got the Vikings. You got the Vikings jersey on. They got the Rams, the Cardinals, the Texans. So yeah, you definitely hope Jordan Love can come back in a couple of weeks because I don't know how much Malik Willis can hold this team together. If I'm them, I'm calling Ryan Tannehill.
No, they already said they're not.
I would be calling Ryan Tannehill if I were the Packers. I don't know. I don't like Malik Willis, but if they want to go with him, I mean,
I don't like Tannehill.
I think I would take Tannehill over Malik Willis, a veteran.
Shout out to Quinion Mitchell. He absolutely he balled out, but dude, he infuriated me in the first quarter because he made like a little measly stop and it got
And
straight into Christian
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yes,
I know what you're
dude, calm
talking about. Yeah,
down. It's the first
yeah.
quarter.
But and adrenaline's pumping. First game, I can't blame him.
AJ Brown top 5.
Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase. Yeah. He's in there. Yeah. Anywhere from like 4 to 6.
He's so good.
Yeah,
so
he is. I guess we
Moving
can just
on.
go in
Let's
order.
the
Yeah.
Panthers Saints.
Yeah. I was going to say, we don't need to
Saints.
spend much time here. We do not need to spend much time here at all.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to King Frosty. When we were contemplating doing this, he was giving us names. He was talk nicely about the Saints. And I said, brother, only thing I can say about y'all is I love Chris Olave. Mm-hmm. They put up 47 points, and Chris Olave had what? 2 receptions? Maybe 1 reception?
2 for 11 yards.
First touchdown. Points. Rashid Shaheed had a 59-yard catch.
Yeah, Derek Carr balled. Derek Carr balled. He balled.
He said, he saw everybody talking about Spencer Rattler and said, "Yeah, calm down. This is still my team."
Derek Carr definitely did.
It'd be crazy seeing him with a guy like Devontae Adams.
And shout out Alvin Kamara. That offensive line was looking good. He actually had some running lanes. He looked pretty good as well. But shout out to the Saints. They did their thing. But what we should really be talking about is how bad the Panthers were. How awful the Panthers. This is such a terrible loss. If you come out and you lose, 27-10, Bryce has a couple picks, it's so what? It happens.
He threw a pick
on his first throw. It's crazy. They were so bad. There was nothing to cheer for. Nothing to say, you know what? We'll improve on this next week. That defense is going to be the worst in the league this year. That defense is awful. The defense
sucks. The line sucks.
And their best player on that defense. Their best player on that defensive line, Derek Brown, is possibly out for the season. I think he had a knee injury. So that defense is going to be even worse. It's going to be the worst in the league this year. Bryce Young had 1 million overthrows, 2 interceptions that were terrible. Again, like I was saying with who was it earlier? With Jalen Hurts. It wasn't like it was him and his receiver just weren't on the same page. It was just terrible throws. Just bad.
It was 30-0, getting ready to go into the half, and they kicked a field goal. I would have been embarrassed. Yeah. What is this field goal doing for us right now, man?
Yeah, it was bad. 13 for 30, 166 yards, and 2 interceptions.
I was really high on Kool-Aid McKinstry. He was in my top 2 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He didn't even play until Marshawn Lattimore got hurt. Hopefully Lattimore's okay. But my defensive rookie picks are really bad. Man. And I don't know, the one thing, I don't know why the Saints have Jake Haener as I don't know why Spencer Rattler isn't their backup. It doesn't really matter, but I don't get it. But yeah, the Saints look good. Their defense looked good. The running game looked good, and Derek Carr balled out. That defense sucks so bad. And I like Deontay Johnson, but trading for him pretty much straight up for Dante Jackson and seeing what Dante Jackson did for the Steelers is just terrible. Just absolutely terrible.
This team, I don't know if I'll tune into another game of the Panthers. It was that bad.
Has there been an 0-16 team since the Browns?
No, since the Browns, no. Since the Browns, no.
They might do it.
And I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly. Mm-mm. With the way the Falcons look, who knows? Maybe they can sneak one off of the Falcons. But I mean, they do have the Raiders in a couple of weeks. No. They have the Bengals who lost to the Pats. You say
figure it out fast.
You say the Broncos are going to be the worst team. They play the Broncos. They got the Giants who didn't look good either. Maybe they could. Maybe they could sneak one win in here. But yeah, it's definitely not looking good. It was awful. Shout out to the Saints, but
very bad.
Yeah, the Panthers
are incredible.
As I said earlier, if you're a Panthers fan, be looking forward to the number 1 overall pick. At least you get it this year, and it's not going to the Bears for you to just sit there and watch Caleb Williams do his thing.
You want to move on to the Vikings Giants?
I'll let you lead off. Go ahead.
The first thing I would like to say is, holy crap, those Giants jerseys were hideous.
Thank you. They were awful. They were awful. Those Giants jerseys were terrible. They were so bad.
I feel bad watching Malik Neighbors wear that because
They
he's so good.
they were
Just wearing
awful.
terrible jerseys, awful.
Man.
But Vikings, as I said last episode, they're my favorite team. I will root for Lamar over them this season, but they're my favorite team. And when we drafted JJ, I was a little upset because I hate Michigan. Hate to see a guy go down, but I love Sam Darnold, and I know you're a big time Sam Darnold hater.
Stop saying that.
But you absolutely despise my boy for some reason, and he was just incredible. He started 12 for 12.
Yep, push your agenda. Go ahead.
And he's gonna be good. The team is gonna be good. The defense is okay. They have good offensive weapons. The line is solid. They wanted to pass. It was very clear that they wanted to pass, and yet Aaron Jones was incredible behind them. Justin Jefferson, great. Jordan Addison got hurt, which is really sad.
So sad. Okay. Yeah. I think it was like an ankle sprain or something. Yeah.
If he's out, I struggle to see who's going to be the receiver too because Hawkinson is still hurt.
Yeah.
And Jalen Naylor will have to step up.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's going to step up. Yeah.
And if he steps up, who's the
JJ's going to see a lot of double coverage. Yeah. Like he already isn't, but without Jordan Addison, it's going to be tough. But yeah, so you're done with your Sam Darnold propaganda? You're done pushing him?
Byron Murphy II was very good. Ivan Pace was phenomenal.
Before we move on from Sam Darnold, I have some things to say about him. You say I see you smirking over there. You say I'm a Sam Darnold hater, which I'm not. I think Sam Darnold is so talented because when he went to the Panthers, I thought the Panthers were going to be so good. But we've seen this from Sam Darnold before. We've seen him start well. Let's take it back to the 2021 season with the Carolina Panthers. Sam Darnold in his first 3 games was 3-0. 3 touchdowns passing, 3 touchdowns running, and only 1 interception. He completed 68% of his passes. He was phenomenal in those first 3 games. For the rest of the season, he played 9 more games that season. He had 6 touchdowns, 2 rushing, and 12 interceptions, and his completion percentage dropped by 12 to 56%. We've seen this from Sam Darnold before, where he starts the season off well, and he just falls off the face of the earth to end the season. So I wouldn't be surprised. Can you
tell me what team he was playing for?
The Panthers.
Can you tell me the other quarterback he was in front of? Baker Mayfield was there. They didn't have any confidence in him, and we see Baker now in Tampa. And we see Jacoby in New England. Confidence from your coach matters so much. And I think the Vikings with O'Connell have one of the best coaches in the NFL. The stuff he did with Kirk Cousins, a truly bad quarterback, was phenomenal.
I'm gonna need you to stop calling Kirk Cousins bad because he's not bad.
And I think that what he's gonna bring out of Sam Darnold is just gonna be brilliant. I cannot wait.
I can wait. I can wait. Because as I said, we've seen this from Sam Darnold before. Let me take back that statement I made. I said I could see him doing this for the first couple of weeks. Well, he plays the Niners next week, so that's over with. Sam Darnold being fake good to start the season is over with. He had his 1 week, and we'll see him throw 3 interceptions next week, so that's fine.
I'm sorry, y'all gonna have to start the season 1-1.
As I said, Sam Darnold has done this before. So I'm not buying into the Sam Darnold hype. I like him. I think he's super talented. He's a 6'3" quarterback, big arm, can make the throws off platform, can roll out the pocket and hit a person on the run. He can, but he makes terrible decisions, bad reads, and I promise
I told you last episode he made friends with those ghosts. He's still seeing them, but they're cool with him now.
By the end of the season, they won't be cool anymore. I can assure you. You.
Let's go to the other side of the ball.
Let's do that.
Giants. I was excited to see their receivers. Malik Neighbors, I cannot praise him anymore. He had 7 targets, 5 receptions, 66 yards. Wan'Dale Robinson is where it gets interesting because why does Wan'Dale Robinson have 12 targets? 6 receptions for 44 yards. Jalen Hyatt, who I loved coming out of college, 1 target, 0 receptions. And then one of the greatest Twitter follows for the NFL is Darius Slayton. He's awesome. He had 4 targets, 3 receptions, 26 yards. their offense is bad. Their offensive
Before
line
we get
stinks.
to them, it's not about the receivers. It's about who's throwing the ball to those receivers.
I was just about to get to them. I like Daniel Jones. I am a fan of Daniel Jones, but holy cow, is he bad, man. He threw a pick to a dude named Andrew Van Ginkel.
Are you a fan of just Daniel Jones the person? Is that what you're saying? You're a fan of him the person?
When he got that contract, I thought that he was a very competent quarterback. A lot of people did, obviously. He got $40 million.
Not a lot of people did. One franchise has to think that, and that's all that it takes. He got paid because they beat the Vikings in the playoffs that year. He had the game of his life that in that game. So I could see why you would be like, there's hope for this guy. He can be our guy. But it's a terrible contract. He's not good. And he shouldn't start, hell, I want to say another game for the Giants, but this should be his last season with the Giants.
But people got to realize he's still a human, man. I don't know.
No, yeah. With him walking out the tunnel,
outside, like screaming at.
They're booing him.
That'll never be cool.
No, yeah.
That would always be corny to me.
Yeah, just looking forward and just walking to the bus. Yeah, I definitely do agree with that.
Feel bad
Daniel
for
Jones, the person, but the player,
terrible.
Yeah.
And I told you before we started, I will be pushing agendas. Put him on the bench. Drew Lock, lace up them sneakers. Put that jersey on. It is your time, brother.
And I'm only gonna be.
Time. You got the receivers.
I'm only gonna be part of this because it's just getting Daniel Jones out of the starting position, not because I just love Drew Lock. The fact that I just don't have to watch Daniel Jones anymore.
I can't say he's incredible or anything, but what
he
showed he's capable of last season.
He's a big arm.
It's better than. It's the same thing as Daniel Jones, except just better. Like, it's just a step up. I don't understand. It's the money. The money is the only reason
he played really well against the Seahawks, or not against the against the Eagles last year. I will say when he beat.
I love the Giants defense though.
So I will say
they got Bobby Okereke, Dave Belton, Deontay Banks, Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Brian Burns is so good. Quiet. Brian Burns is so
both
good.
of those edges.
Yeah,
that defense very good. That's just when your offense is going to score 3 points a game, you're screwed.
Them and the Panthers will be fighting for that #1 overall pick this season.
And the Broncos.
Stop. We'll move on.
Let's move on to the Patriots and the Bengals.
The most disappointing, but yet I kind of want to say not surprising game of the season. It was a disappointment, but it wasn't surprising because the Bengals do this. The Bengals just start terrible, then they're going to win 7 out of their next 8 and look like one of the best teams in the AFC. I don't get it.
I told you that I liked Jared Mayo the player. I liked Jared Mayo the coach, but I was so disappointed at the way he was talking in his interviews. And I think that's a learning curve he'll have to figure it out. But he clearly knows his players way better than we do. Because he's a player's coach. He's getting everything out of them.
Yeah.
Jacoby came out and said that he cried 3 times before the game, and one was because of Jared Mayo and how much he appreciated Jacoby. And it's just. It's cool to see. I'm very proud of them. I'm very happy for Jared Mayo. Captain Jabril Peppers. I've loved Jabril since
that
college.
defense.
Guy. But he said that no team he's ever been a part of practices like they do when it comes to tenacity and like stamina and stuff that they're working through.
Yeah, Christian Gonzalez, man, is gonna be by the end of the season, people will be talking about him as a top 5 corner.
They already should. He's a superstar.
Thank you. Yeah, Christian Gonzalez is so good. He had Jamar Chase strapped.
You see what he said? I don't remember who they were interviewing, but he was in the background and he said he's not getting
on me. Yeah. Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
I love to see that.
And now shout out the Patriots. What's that?
Geno Stone left Baltimore for the Bengals, and he was still good, but
led the league.
He
had like 8 interceptions last year.
He led the AFC in interceptions.
The Bengals. This was atrocious. This was so bad. They couldn't stop the run for anything. Ramondre Stevenson ran all over them.
25 for 120.
Ran all over them. And then to see Joe Burrow hit, I forget who was it in the back corner of the end zone. It was, oh my goodness. Was it Mike Gesicki? It was Mike Gesicki.
Yeah, when it got called off.
Called back. And then in the same drive,
and the backup tight end fumbled.
For him to be down the seam, has the touchdown, he's holding the ball like this, and it gets punched out of his arm. And he fumbles it. Man, the Bengals got some problems. They need T. Higgins back. They need T. Higgins back immediately.
I mean, T. Higgins is great, but you're playing the Patriots and your sole touchdown is Zach Moss. You
That's a
got a lot
problem.
more to be worried
That's
about.
definitely a problem. 21 for 29 and 164 yards. That's
Terrible.
awful. That is awful. I get the Patriots
Terrible.
offense, our defense is really good, but this is an awful game, an awful loss from the for the Bengals. Like I just don't get how they lost. I don't get how they were only able to put up 10 points. But man, that the Patriots just killed them in time of possession. They were able to just hold the ball, run the ball down their throat, and they literally could not do a thing about Ramondre Stevenson. Shout out to him, and shout out to Jacoby Brissett as well. Shout out to him getting his win. A lot of people saying Drake May should have started, but shout out to Jacoby.
I really like Tyquan Thornton coming out of the draft, and I left his fan club for a little bit because they were just so bad. But I would like to see him get back to where he can be, and I think that he unlocks when Kendrick Bourne comes back because
shout out Kendrick Bourne,
Austin Hooper leading their receivers with 31 yards
is bad. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, and they won the game.
Before we move on to the next team, shout out Keon White, 2023 second round pick. Incredible game. I don't know if you saw him or not. He also said after the game that he loves Jared Mayo because he would never ask them to do something that he hasn't or wouldn't do. And that just goes again to him being a player's coach, just being a great coach.
2.5 sacks, yeah. Shout out the Pats, man. Shout out the Pats.
Yep, for sure. You want to go to Steelers Falcons next?
Yeah.
You already mentioned Justin Fields. We don't got to talk about him a lot. He was good, but he wasn't great. 6 field goals to win a game. That's just something you can't be super proud of.
What I will say about the Steelers, TJ Watt might be the best non-quarterback in the league. It's crazy. It's crazy. It is crazy how he keeps them in games. It doesn't make sense how the Steelers continue to win games. How do you win a game by more than a touchdown when you didn't score a touchdown yourself? It doesn't make any sense. You didn't score a touchdown yourself, but you win by more than a touchdown. Every time, it felt like there were a million times that game where TJ Watt got a fumble, got a sack, and it got called back for a penalty. And the next play, he just went and got another one. It literally does not make any sense how the Pittsburgh Steelers are in games. It's mind-boggling. And I will. The Steelers always have the most boring game. They do. It's a grinded-out game, but they just find a way to win. They just find a way to win.
They need a game manager, and that's what Russell Wilson was supposed to be. And seeing that Justin Fields can do that, I genuinely don't think that he gets the job back. I think that's Justin Fields' job to lose at this point. But it's not just T.J. Watt either. That whole defense is great. Joey Porter Jr. in the secondary is great. Minka. If the Steelers aren't going to make the playoffs, they need to trade Minka for an absolute haul, dude. He's so good. So good. And Alex Highsmith gets overshadowed by T.J., but he's great too. Yeah. This isn't a game we have to talk a lot about. It was boring. I'd love to see what they did with Najee. We talked a little bit down on him last game, but his vision looked better. His patience looked better. He looked leaner. And he had way more carries than any other back, so it shows they have at least a little bit of confidence in him.
Moving on to the Falcons.
One of the few bright things about the Falcons is Grady Jarrett is just great.
Also, Kyle Pitts got a touchdown. That's a positive. That's a positive.
He was standing butt naked.
He was. He
got down on his knees and prayed for that touchdown before he was so wide open.
He was so wide open. But yeah.
And that was their only one. That was their only touchdown.
Kirk Cousins was not good. He's 2 interceptions. He fumbled a million times, I swear. He's not bad. It's his first game back from his Achilles. With a new team, you can make all the faces you want to. I'm a Kirk Cousins guy. I'm a Kirk Cousins guy. And you're not gonna talk mess about my guy. Kirk Cousins is a baller. Top 10-ish quarterback when healthy. Give him some time, and I think he'll be fine. He will be fine. Yes, he had a terrible game.
Make a deal.
Come on.
If I can't talk shit about Kirk Cousins, you can't talk shit about Sam Howell.
Sam Howell or Sam Darnold?
Howell.
Okay, I don't got anything to say about
because
Sam
that's
Howell.
my next agenda.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Moving on, Texans at Colts.
Oh my
Beautiful
gosh.
Beautiful game.
Oh my gosh, bro.
We might do game of the week later. I
Uh-huh.
think it's between this and the Lions Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Both just great games.
Niners Jets is right there, but yeah.
Okay, and it can stay there. C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson are two of
Yeah.
my favorite quarterbacks in the
Uh-huh.
league. Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Richardson, he's a highlight just waiting to happen. He's almost
Mm-hmm.
much watch football.
Yeah. No, definitely. Definitely. That throw by Anthony Richardson fading away like a 60-yard bomb to who was it? Alec Pierce was
Alec Pierce.
insane. Was insane.
Is
It
Alec
had me.
Pierce an elite deep threat? He
I
didn't
don't
he
know.
had
I
like
don't know.
130
And I
yards.
mentioned his name last week, and I got text. Oh, who cares about Alec Pierce? Yeah, who gives a who what does Alec Pierce matter? But now you see why I mentioned his name.
That
Two
was
deep
Josh
balls.
Downs. That was Josh Downs.
No, no, not from you. Well, I didn't mean from you. I didn't mean
Okay.
from you. I didn't
Okay.
mean. Look at you,
I
just
like
so
Alec Pierce. I
defensive.
like
Just so
because I like
defensive.
Alec Pierce. I thought you
Yeah.
were talking about me, Gal.
No, no,
You
not from
confused
you.
me.
Not from you. Not from you. But
But
what I
Josh
will
Downs
say,
is nothing. Who you were so quick to mention.
what I will say about the Texans and someone I was down on, Joe Mixon was running all over the Colts.
He told them
All
he's
over the
not taking a
Colts.
back seat. He was
He,
so
he
good
was
too.
running all over them. Ran for 159. And that throw to Nico Collins to ice the game was phenomenal. I don't know how he stayed in bounds. I don't know how he stayed in bounds, but yeah. And shout out to Stephon Diggs getting his 2 touchdowns in. And I seen a lot of people talking about
33 yards.
yeah, Stephon back to complaining because he was on the sideline. He looked animated, but yeah, he was. I don't get it. I don't get it.
All I saw was him. He said he appreciates that they trust him in the big moment.
I don't get it. Yeah, people just want to make this narrative about Stephon
Nico
Diggs,
Collins
yeah.
is elite, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely elite.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dell's fast, but it sucks. He's their third receiver, and that's just how it is.
Definitely, yeah. It's not his fault.
My favorite part.
Go ahead.
I can't say my favorite part because the game was incredible, but I love to see Tyrese Halliburton at this game because he had said that he wanted to build the culture in Sacramento, and they give him away.
Yeah.
And now he's at all the Fever games. He's at the first Colts game, and he's just he's everything you want from a franchise player, no matter what sport it is.
And I want to say, I could be wrong. WWE was in Indy, and I think he was there. I want to say he was there.
He was there for Indy, and he went to New York.
New York, yeah.
Jalen
Hurts. Yeah, I said Jalen Hurts. Yeah, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, yeah. And before we move on,
love Halliburton.
Shout out to Jimmy Ward, Azeez Al-Shire, and D'Amico Ryans on the Texans. All 3 former Niners.
The Texans' second and third round picks, their second rounder Kamari Lassiter and their third rounder Caleb Bullock were both really good. Caleb Bullock had a pick. Lassiter, he was okay, but he was still good. And it breaks my heart to see that John Mechie was inactive. I want him to get traded. Moving on.
Yeah.
Cardinals Bills.
Man, I was rooting for the Cardinals so hard in this game. I was rooting for them so hard in this game. I think it was 17-3, and because I had been pushing that this Cardinals offense was going to be so good, but that defense is awful. That defense is pitiful. But their offense could be, top 10 in the league with Kyler back there. But that second half, they just could not get anything going. Anything. I think Kyler threw for like 30 yards in the second half.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Your 4th overall pick is generational.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have one reception.
No. Mm-mm.
You got to figure that out as soon as possible. You got to go into the second game, and he has to get targeted. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I don't think they got any reps together in the preseason. Maybe that could be, why, first live action together. But yeah, they definitely has to look for Marvin Harrison a lot more. But yeah, and that last play call to end the game, just throwing it up on, I think it was 4th down. It could have been called a pass interference, but even then, I still didn't like the play. But shout out to Josh Allen. Just willing.
Greg Dortch looked really good for the
Cardinals. He did. And shout out Michael Wilson. I like him a lot. Trey McBride.
Engaged with the
let me down.
United States Women's Olympic team, by the way, if you didn't know. But my favorite, going into the game, I was so excited for the Bills receivers because nobody knew who was going to step up. And
I wouldn't say I was excited.
The answer is, did any of them step up?
Nobody's. Yeah, I was gonna say this game was won by
4 for 5
Josh
with 51.
Allen.
Khalil Shakir had 3 for 3 with 42 and a touchdown. Curtis Samuel broke my heart. He was so bad. He just didn't do much. Josh Allen loved Matt Hollins for some reason. And I saw him. He caught like a
When he caught that touchdown, I was like, really? I definitely had the same idea.
Someone else,
I was
man.
like, really? It could have gone to anyone else.
Anybody.
But yeah, shout out
Where's
Josh
Dalton
Allen.
Kincaid?
I think I couldn't tell you. Same with Dawson Knox, had one catch. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume it's Keon Coleman that's the one that's gonna step up this season, but if the Bills have any chance, it's really just gonna be Josh Allen having to backpack literally every single game. Every single game.
Titans Bears. No Jamal, not Jamal. Yeah, Jamal Adams going into the game for the Titans. Titans started off so hot. It was 17-0. And Will Levis went cold. After the game,
ice cold.
Head coach Brian Callahan said if we just hunted the ball on every 1st and 10, we would have looked better because the defense was that good.
And he's right. They should have done that. They should have just started punting the ball and let the defense make a play.
That's embarrassing, dude.
It was bad. It was bad. And you could say the same thing for the Bears, too. The Bears aren't getting away with this either. They won, but you could say the same thing for the Bears. The Bears could have punted as well, and the Bears defense probably would have won that game for them. They were bad. Every aspect of the Bears was bad besides that defense.
Points. Their first touchdown, blocked punt, Jonathan Owens, right?
Yeah.
Cuban score, Simone Biles' husband. Second touchdown, fumble recovery, touchdown, disgusting. Third one was Tyreek Stevenson, pick 6, disgusting. The fumble was forced by... Who? Darrell Taylor. Darrell Taylor forced that fumble. He was traded to the Bears for a 6th-round pick from the Seahawks.
Yep.
Great pickup, dude. He was incredible.
He had a great game.
And Darrell Taylor is the exact same name as the Darrell from the Challenge, if you didn't know.
His last name is Taylor as well. I didn't know that. But yeah. That interception, that pick 6, was awful. You're mid-sack and you just he's gonna drop to your knees mid-play and put your hands on your head as the guy's running down the sideline to go score. But yeah, the Bears' interior offensive line was awful. The Titans' defense looked really good. Really good. They can win a lot more games than what I predicted just off the back of their defense. Just off the back of their defense.
But they're gross.
They're not winning 8 games, I will say. They're not winning 8 games. I love
Brian Callahan. I think he's going to be a really good coach. And I like Will Levis, but I don't. He's got to figure it out. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah, they traded for Ernest Jones, who looked good. Yeah, and Caleb Williams, he didn't look good. He didn't play good at all. But I will say there were a couple of nice plays. He did a good job at kind of like evading pressure. I think he only took 2 sacks. For the way his offensive line played.
Good, but he didn't look horrible either. No. It was just like... He was just out there.
Yeah.
The script was literally written perfectly for him.
Yeah, they had really good play calling, I will say. I think they had some good play calling.
First overall quarterback to be selected to get their debut win since 2002.
And a lot of people were talking about Keenan Allen. I think he looked good. He was open a lot. He was open a lot. He did. He was open a lot, but Caleb just missed him a few times. And like you said, he did drop that touchdown. But yeah, Caleb, I think he played not good, like you said, not good, not bad. He did a good job not taking too many sacks. Only took 2 for the way that offensive line played. I think, the Browns got out of there with the win. That's all you can, that's all you can worry about. And Caleb even said after the game, that's all. Did I say Browns? I said Browns, didn't I? Yeah.
You said Browns.
And Caleb said that's all that matters. He doesn't care about his stats. But yeah, Tony Pollard looked good for the Titans, but Will Levis has got to get it together. Yeah.
Jaguars, Dolphins. Just a game that broke my heart.
Oh my goodness.
All the news is on Tyreek and Calais Campbell getting detained before the game.
Yeah.
That cop's going to get fired. It's such a sad situation. It's the same shit over and over again, man. Yeah. But sticking to football.
It's a game, yeah. Let's get to the
Dolphins are not even slightly afraid of throwing the deep ball. Everybody was, fantasy-wise, was curious about the running backs, and Devon Achane is just number 1. They used all 4 backs, I believe. I know they used Wilson and Raheem. I don't know if they used Jalen Wright. But Achane was just head and shoulders above everyone.
I don't remember seeing him. I don't think so. I'm not sure. Maybe they did. Let me check the stat sheet. No, I don't see him. I don't think they did. Because I was going to say, I don't remember seeing him much. But yeah, I don't think they did. But yeah, like you said. But this was a collapse by the... a big collapse by the Jacksonville Jaguars.
My heart.
Had the game in their hand, and they just gave it away. just gave it away. They just Travis Etienne. That was an amazing punch out by Javon Holland. An amazing punch out.
Amazing.
Right before the goal line, before Travis Etienne scored, he lost the ball. Then after that play, they gave up that play to Tyreek Hill. It was like an 80-yard touchdown.
80-yard touchdown.
Yeah. And then they came back and nearly lost the ball again. They fumbled it on the kickoff, but they got it back that time. But yeah, this is a big collapse by the
Brian
Jags.
Thomas had his first touchdown,
and it was a really good pass from Trevor Lawrence.
Game would have been
amazing pass.
A phenomenal pass. Etienne's game would have been good if he hadn't fumbled. At the goal line. That was sad. They used Tank Bigsby a lot.
He looked solid. Solid.
It's just confusing.
Very solid.
They love Etienne, but they use Bigsby a lot. And Trayvon Walker is like one of the most untalked about first overall picks ever.
Yeah,
he had a solid game. They just don't like, nobody talks about him, and I don't know why.
But no, yeah, he looked good. He did. And shout out Eric Armstead, got a sack, former Niner.
Shout out Jason Sanders. He missed that 42-yarder
and came back and
I follow a dude on Twitter because he's a Heat fan, Dolphins, and he said he called Jason Sanders. He compared him to the guy from Germany in the 1940s, and he hit the game winner.
We'll move on. We will move on.
Broncos Seahawks.
Yeah, we'll move on. Whoa.
Here are the 4:00 games, and I think we text each other like really close, just saying, "Man, these games are boring." All of the 4:00 games
were putting me to sleep. Yeah, they were bad. They were bad.
They had to figure out the schedules. There's no way you can. It's you got to have at least one good game.
Yeah,
and the Browns,
definitely.
The Browns and Cowboys should have been good.
Should have been, yeah. It was not. There were not any good games for me. But yeah, Bo Nix did not look good in his debut. He had that rushing touchdown, but it was anything past the sticks for Bo Nix. It was just bad. I think I have the stats here somewhere. Yeah, he was just not good throwing down the field. He was 2 for 12. Attempts. Yeah, he was 2 for 12, 2 interceptions on any throw, 10 yards or more. He was bad throwing down the field.
He's horrible.
He was
42 attempts for 138 yards and 2
It's bad.
picks.
It's bad.
It's scarily bad. Like that's not a top 15 pick.
It's bad. It is.
Geno threw a pick his first possession, and then the game got weird. I don't know if you were focused on this game, but he was in his own end zone and he threw a pick, but there was holding in the end zone, so it was a safety. Which is weird. I didn't know.
Yeah. Like if you get
and then they got another safety in the first half,
or if you get like intentional grounding in the end zone, I know it's a safety as well. But
yeah, I know that one. Just a terrible game. Shout out Marshawn Lynch.
It really was
on the sidelines with the coach.
Yeah, this game.
I think that Seahawks defense is great though.
Yeah, shout out Mike McDonald. Yeah, he's gonna have them playing really well.
I'm glad you said that because why are there so many Mike Micks in the NFL?
Mike McDonald, Mike McDaniel.
The Mike McCarthy. I think there's another one too, but it don't matter. We can go past this game. It doesn't need much talking about. It was bad.
I will say that throw to Tyler Lockett to ice the game was really good. But yeah, we can definitely move on. Yeah, Bo Nix.
Raiders Chargers. I was excited for this one. Both.
Yeah, my
Jim
Chargers.
Harbaugh, new team.
My former Niner.
Antonio Pierce, not a new coach, but a newer coach. Full off season. Both got full off season with their teams. I was excited to see what they did, and man, I was disappointed in Antonio Pierce. They just did not look good. Scott Matlock, great story. Defensive tackle and a fullback, kind of cool. He played both ways, which you don't see very often. But J.K. Dobbins, incredible man.
As long as he can stay healthy.
135 yards, a touchdown. He when he would get to about 30 yards, I think he had a 46 or 42 yard carry. He got to about 30 and just ran out of gas. So he's gonna have to get his stamina back.
Yeah. He had a play similar to that with the Ravens as well. I remember talking to my brother about that. But yeah, with the Chargers, I think they'll be a good team, but they're gonna be a really boring team because Justin Herbert doesn't have the weapons anymore. He doesn't have Mike Williams, doesn't have Keenan Allen anymore. So they're going to be a super boring team because, like I said, he doesn't have the weapons. So they're going to be running the ball a lot. But I think they're going to be good. That running game showed a lot of promise. I think they'll be solid. And Joe Alt had a phenomenal game. phenomenal game. I think he was matched up with Max Crosby 12 times, and he didn't allow a sack and not a pressure. Didn't allow a pressure. He was so good. He was so good lined up against Max Crosby. So yeah, the Chargers, they won. They look good, but yeah, they're not going to be. They're not going to be
incredible as a backup. I hate to see that he was so bad for the Vikings last year, but as a backup, he's really good.
He's always been good in the passing game. Yeah,
Gardner Minshew is good controlling the field with his eyes, but he's bad as a quarterback, and it doesn't make any sense.
I love Gardner Minshew. I love him. I love him. Like, exactly. How can you not? The hair, the mustache. He's a great backup, but if he's your starter coming into the season, you definitely have to question your quarterback room. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it'll be long before Aiden O'Connell is back in the lineup. But yeah, I love Gardner Minshew so much. So yeah, I'll be rooting for him. But yeah, he's not a starter. He's the best backup you'll get, but he's just not a starter.
Cowboys Browns.
Here we go. Before we get to the Cowboys, he was alright. He was alright. I didn't love him. I didn't hate him. He was solid. He was fine.
He wasn't very good, but he's one of my all-time favorite players, so I thought it was cool.
Deshaun Watson
gone down on the field and been better for the Browns than Deshaun Watson was.
Absolutely. Deshaun Watson, this is what I want to talk about. Forget the rest of this game. What happened? 4 or 5 years ago, you talk about Deshaun Watson. He was top 5 without question. Top 5. The plays he was making, get kicked in the face through your face mask and make a throw. Adjust your face mask mid play and make a throw. What happened to him? Deshaun Watson is just bad. He is just bad. He under any type of pressure, he's getting happy feet, losing composure, and sailing any deep ball he throws. I really, it's like he's scared to make a play now.
I can't lie though, their line was bad, and he made some plays where it's like you did a good job escaping pressure there, but do something else with it. Just
checking it down. I don't know what happened to him. All he's looking for is just the check down.
His vision sucks, and when he does see something,
he
throws a lollipop anyway.
It's baffling. Anything down the field, he's airmailing. He's missing, and it's not like, oh, you missed them by a fingertip. He's missing them by 5 yards. It's bad. If it's not anything in front of the sticks, a little check down, it's just off target. He's missing throws like crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what happened to him, and he's only starting for the Browns because of that contract. And if I'm the Browns, I say, forget it. Screw it. We gave him that contract. We'll take our loss. There's nothing we can do now. And I'm putting Jameis Winston in the game. I'm putting Jameis Winston in because Jameis Winston is similar to how Joe Flacco played last year. He's going to throw everybody believes Joe Flacco.
That's my agenda.
Joe Flacco played amazing last year. He didn't. He was just not afraid to. He just wasn't afraid to make a big play, to throw the ball down the field, which Deshaun Watson is just afraid of now. And we know Jameis Winston. He's gone 30 for 30. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. So if you put that Jameis Winston into this Browns lineup, they can be a playoff team. But Deshaun Watson is just afraid to make a throw that's 10 yards down the field because he knows he can't hit it anymore for some reason. So yeah, I would just put in Jameis Winston, take the L. Yeah, we gave Deshaun Watson that contract.
Browns fans are some of the most dedicated fans in the entire league.
They deserve it. They deserve it. They're gonna love him. They're gonna love him.
Rock with Jameis so hard.
And getting to hear the
quarterback. Your weapons are great.
That defense is phenomenal. I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened to Deshaun Watson. He's just scared. I don't know what happened. I really don't. I wish I had an explanation, but he's just not good anymore. He shouldn't be starting anywhere.
In his personal life, and I get it, but like, he shouldn't.
And I'm sorry, I just got so animated, but he's just not good anymore.
Much money guaranteed. And
I will say, everyone would have gave him the contract at that point in time. I think there were the Saints. The Saints were involved. I think the Panthers were involved back then. I know the Niners were involved back then.
I'm saying guaranteed money is different.
No, I get it, but I think at that point in time, because of what he had done previously, everyone would have given him that money. And even when they gave him the money, no one batted an eye. It was like, yeah, it's a lot of money, a lot of guaranteed money, but it's Deshaun Watson. You're getting a top 5 quarterback who's super young. if that could be your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years, and now he's this.
He's
So
bad.
I
You gotta move on.
you have to just take the loss. And I know it's just an ego thing, a pride thing. The owners are saying, no, we gave him this money, we have to play him. Just cut your losses and just put Jameis Winston in and just give yourself a chance to make the playoffs. Because the Browns are going to be the worst team in that division by far if Deshaun Watson is their starting quarterback. He is bad. Put Jameis Winston in. Yeah, he'll throw bad interceptions, but he's not afraid to make a play. He's not afraid to throw a 50-yard bomb down the field in a double coverage,
Absolutely.
and that's what this team needs. Because Joe Flacco, like I said, wasn't good.
I was so upset
when he
left the Saints because I thought Jameis had a chance to start in New Orleans, but I think he should start in Cleveland now.
I think if it didn't happen before Derek Carr, before all of that, I don't think it was ever going to happen. I think they would have just found a younger player. I just don't think it was ever going to happen. So at that point, I was fine with him leaving. But I definitely think he deserved a chance. But once they got Derek Carr, I don't think they.
Let's talk about the Cowboys real quick. We don't have to go super in depth.
And their offense wasn't. They weren't great either.
No, but I think it's really cool. Cooper Bibby, first ever career start at center. He had never played a snap of center before. They had
Cowboys just find offensive linemen. They just find offensive linemen. I don't know what it is. But
Tyler Guyton, rookie left tackle.
Yep.
Zeke was still Zeke, and that made my heart so happy. His first, I don't know if it was his first carry, but very early in the game he hurdled a corner, and it's like that dude. He's back. And Tom Brady said it's weird seeing him wear 15 when he's wore 21 over there for so long, and I agree. But he wore 15 at Ohio State, so I'm not upset with it. And Mike Zimmer is one of the best coordinators in football.
Yeah.
Bringing Eric Kendricks over with him was a great pickup, and him along with Micah.
He had signed with the Niners and then flaked on us, and so forget him. Yeah, forget him. But continue.
But he's a great pickup. Yeah. Mike Zimmer loves him. Micah Parsons was incredible. Just blew up the entire game for the Browns.
Yeah,
and he was both of our defensive player of the year.
Yeah, but after this week, if TJ Watt can somehow have the Steelers in the playoff run, I'm forget DPOY. Give him the MVP. Give him the MVP. It's just I don't get it. I just don't get it. But we're not gonna go back to that. But yeah, the Cowboys offense wasn't good, but it was good enough because the Browns were just that bad.
Jake Ferguson had a scary knee injury.
Yeah,
it's not his ACL. He has a bone bruise and an MCL sprain.
The second it happened, that tackle happened. I just knew something was up because it was just a weird, awkward tackle. His foot kind of just got stuck in there. Yeah, before he even landed and started grabbing for his knee, I just knew something was up. It was just an awkward tackle. But yeah.
And the Browns signed Kadarius Toney today. If that makes any Browns fans happy,
no, they need to sign a quarterback.
Commanders, Buccaneers. Going into the game, my question, will Jaden Daniels survive? And man, he was just absolutely elite. He was just so fun to watch. Jaden, you beat me in fantasy. You broke my heart, but
it was my fantasy quarterback. Shout out Jaden Daniels. I drafted Jared Goff because I was like, you know what? I don't want to start a rookie. But no, he's my starter going forward. Jaden Daniels had a great game.
Jalen McMillan was wide open in the end zone, dropped the touchdown. They ended up settling for a 56-yard field goal, but he later scored a touchdown, and he did the OHIO right in front of Mikey Sanristol, or however you say his name, which is from Michigan. And it's like, I don't really understand it because McMillan didn't go to Ohio State, but he did the little Ohio State thing. So he's got a lifelong fan in me now. So good on you.
Moving on. There were a couple throws that Jaden Daniels made outside the numbers where I was like, man, on that last drive, it didn't mean anything, but there were some really nice throws he made, and his rushing ability was he was great on the ground. Got in 2 times. Austin Eckler.
Austin Eckler could be a really good running back too for a good team, but he's on a bad team, so it kind of sucks.
I'm glad he only got 2 carries. He should only be used in the passing game. If they're gonna run the ball, Austin Eckler should not be in the field. It should not be on the field.
I agree. Mike Evans is a future Hall of Famer and
first ballot.
I love him, dude. I don't think he's appreciated enough.
At all.
He's incredible. And Jaden Daniels was great on the ground. He's got to learn to slide as soon as possible.
No, definitely. It's the same thing with Anthony, how Anthony Richardson was last year. He just didn't want to slide, didn't know how to. I don't know,
Anthony Richardson's the size of a freight train.
Yeah, but he ended up getting hurt last year. So yeah, Jaden Daniels definitely needs to just learn how to just go down. Live to
Do
fight
we do
another
we
down.
want to talk about Emmanuel Forbes and how bad he is? Because it's really sad.
Who was it on? He had a. It might have. Was it Chris Godwin? He had a PI in the end zone. Who was it on? I can't remember.
I don't
It
remember.
could have been
He's
Chris
bad.
Godwin or Mike Evans, but yeah, he had a rough game. He definitely had a rough game. He
I was
definitely
watching
had a
this game
rough
with my
game.
father, who's a Browns
Mm-hmm.
fan, and Cade
Yeah.
York missed his field goal,
Ugh.
and I looked at him. I said, "Is that surprising?" And he just started laughing because Cade York got cut today.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
That's why you don't draft a kicker.
Unless their name is
I'm
Jake
sorry to
Moody.
tell you.
Unless their name is Jake Moody. But
And the commies picked up Austin Seibert, another
mhm.
former Brown. My question is, why did this game get a 4 o'clock slate? Bury this in the 1 o'clock slate. Give us Bills
You know,
Cardinals in the 4.
I could see why they would. Jaden Daniels, his first start. He could have an electric
I don't care.
game. Yeah. Oh, all right. But Baker
I don't
Mayfield,
care.
Baker Mayfield
He,
was elite.
talk about him.
Was
Talk about him.
elite. There wasn't a throw on that field he couldn't hit. There wasn't a throw on that
This
field
is
he
why
could not
you
make.
don't give up on
He
quarterbacks
was
too early,
so
man.
good, and Baker is just a guy you want to root for. Him doing the showing his nuts to the other team. He's just a guy you want to root for, man. Baker Mayfield, bro. I'm so happy for him.
Can
I
you
am
imagine
so
if the
happy
Cleveland
for him.
Browns had a guy like this?
And that's the thing. If you would have said that in 2020, you would have got slapped across the face. But now here we are in 2024, and yeah, if
He
the
was
Browns,
always good for the Browns. He wasn't great, but he was always good. And then he went to the Panthers and was terrible. So he had to go to the Rams, and he
had
took
that
the
like
little,
Thursday night game where he had that like miracle win, yeah, miracle drive, yeah. But yeah,
But then he was very good last year, and I think he's only gonna step up this year.
and this was definitely a case where it was like, okay, you had a nice season last year, but I didn't think he was gonna replicate it in any way. I thought he would kind of regress back to what he was with the Panthers. But man, he was definitely the best quarterback of this past weekend, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt, he had the best quarterback performance this weekend. Without a doubt.
Okay.
Shout out Baker Mayfield.
I wouldn't disagree,
man.
but
shout out to Baker Mayfield. And I'm not gonna lie.
Now we get the Sunday Night Football.
This game, as I said, those 4 o'clock games put me to sleep, and I ended up sleeping through most of this. So you're gonna have to carry on this game.
No way, dude. This game was incredible.
I knocked out. I knocked out on this game.
Incredible. Yeah. I missed a little bit of the first quarter because I had to drive from my dad's back home. But going in, I was curious if the Lions were Super Bowl contenders. I know you had them there, and I was curious if the Rams would make the playoffs. And I think the answer to both of those questions is yes. These are both very good teams. Jamison Williams is so fast.
We talked about him last week. Yep.
We talked about him. The whole world's been talking about him. And I think that he finally had a full offseason. He didn't have any BS to go through. He just got to lock in on football, and it's showing. And he was holding on to that game ball like it was his life. I love Jamison Williams, but Cooper Kupp.
Oh yeah, that I did see. I saw. You said you didn't see the beginning of it. I saw the beginning of it, but I didn't see the end. Cooper Kupp. I don't know what drive it was, but it was like 4 plays in a row, 4 throws in a row. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, back to Cooper Kupp, back to Cooper Kupp. He looked so good, and I was so happy to see this because a lot of people just forgot about Cooper Kupp. 2 years ago, he was a Triple Crown winner. It's crazy that people just forgot about him so quick. I couldn't tell you. I know he had 14 catches. What do you have? 20 targets?
21 targets.
Like,
21.
Come on.
14 for 21.
And I'm so happy. I'm so happy for him.
I'm
so
a big
happy
Cooper
for
Kupp
him.
guy.
Yeah. It sucks that he's in division, but you can't help but root for a guy like Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
Puka Nacua hurt his knee. He got put
on
IR.
Yeah, at least 4 weeks. Yeah, at least 4 weeks.
Hopefully he can heal up soon. I think Tyler Johnson and Demarcus Robinson can do a little bit of the job he can do. I mean, it sucks that it'll be 2 guys that could take over the role of one guy, but they'll figure it out. Matthew Stafford's just elite. David Montgomery was RB1.
I was gonna say, when does Jahmyr Gibbs get that running back 1 spot? If he does,
I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
I don't know if he does.
Yeah.
Monty looked good, and then it came to overtime, and Monty was not coming off the field. He just was over and over and over again. They're just feeding him.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Anzalone looked beautiful for the Lions. He was everywhere. Brian Branch is elite
He's
for a
elite.
second-year
He's
player.
elite.
Yep. Carlton Davis plays for the Lions now, and he looks weird in a different jersey than Tampa. I just
Really?
feel like I
You
think
think?
so because I just always seen him as a Tampa guy.
I kind
So
of like him in the
it's
blue.
different. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It just feels different. Jet Campbell, good linebacker. I think the Lions defense is great. Aiden Hutchinson's over there. Big fan of him.
He's doing a
Lions
really big
offense is
season.
great. Amon Ross St. Brown is incredible, but he didn't do a whole lot.
Mm-hmm. Thank God I played him in fantasy this week. I'm glad he didn't.
You think he'll write about Jameson Williams in his little burn book?
Oh my goodness.
You gotta be saying Jameson Williams in the mirror to come back to week 2. That man, there's something. He's missing something up here, and he's an incredible football player. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Kirby Joseph is really good at the game of football.
He gets a bad rep for being a dirty player, but yeah, no, he definitely is. He definitely is.
The Rams were leading with 2:26 left, and Kyron Williams went out of bounds, stopped the clock, and made it 3rd and 10. Terrible decision. Let the Lions get the ball back. Yeah. Jake Bates kicked the field goal, 32-yarder to tie the game. He had never kicked a field goal in college.
Okay.
He got the job because of the UFL. He kicked the 62-yarder to win the game in the UFL, and he's already making pressure plays. I just think that's cool. I think it's UFL creating jobs is cool. Cooper Kupp told Kerryon Arnold that he's one of those ones. Kerryon Arnold, Alabama, really good.
All right, Terry. I thought you were saying carry on. That's why I was like, Terry on Arnold. Yeah.
Blake Corum didn't get a carry, which was a little surprising. Steve Avila, MCL sprain for the. He's a guard, kind of sucks. But the game just head to head. I think when those two match up, Jared Goff and Matt Stafford, it'll always be a good game. Jared Goff,
Lions and Rams, yeah.
Goff was asked so little, and it was great. Ben Johnson versus Chris Shula was both great coordinators. It was a match. If you get a chance, I would suggest you go back and watch it.
I will.
Because I think it was the game of the week.
You think?
I will always say that
over the Texans and Colts.
I think so.
Okay.
It's really close.
Okay.
Both teams should get the ball in overtime. I will always believe that.
That's one thing. Yes, I agree. Because people always say, well, you had a chance to stop the other. No, I hate that. And they adopted those rules for the playoffs, but not for the regular season, which just doesn't make any sense.
Stupid.
It's like either have it for both or for neither. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely agree that both teams should get the ball.
I don't want to lose Sean McVay, man. I know he's been contemplating
retirement, and he's
such a good coach. I hope he stays forever.
Him, and we didn't talk back to the Packers. Matt LaFleur does not get talked about enough. He is one of the best coaches in the league. He does not get talked about enough. But yeah, we can move on to the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. The best game of the week. Brock Purdy was out there wheeling and dealing. Should have had a touchdown, but Brandon Ayuk dropped it. He was out there doing his thing. Jordan Mason.
Bad job.
It was. And it was a dime by Brock Purdy. It was a dime. But, yeah, Jordan Mason. Christian McCaffrey said he was going to play, and right before the game, he just got announced as inactive.
That was weird.
It was very weird. I think it was more of we're just going to have the Jets prepare for Christian McCaffrey all week for him not to play, so they're not prepared for Jordan Mason maybe. But, yeah.
It's incredible what kind of Kyle Shanahan can do with these just random running backs.
I will say this has always been Jordan Mason, though. As a Niner fan, this has always been him. He didn't get many carries last on IR, season-ending IR.
I know that's sad, by the way. But I'm just saying Kyle Shanahan can do anything.
I see what you're saying.
If you made it through college football as a running back, I feel like Kyle Shanahan could give you
definitely. It's always been the Shanahan thing to just grab any running back and just make it work. But no, yeah, Jordan Mason last year, I think he averaged like 6 yards a carry. It's crazy. He always does this. He's like a mini Marshawn Lynch sort of. That's what he reminds me of. He has the dreads just like him. But yeah, he was running all over the Jets. What are you making that face?
Jordan Mason, Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. Okay. I promise
Okay.
you. I promise you. Last season or any game, just watch Jordan Mason prior to this game. Any other game, and I promise you, he breaks tackles like crazy. You're not taking him down with one defender. You'll stop him for 5 yards, and he'll gain an extra 2. I promise you, this has always been Jordan Mason. When Christian McCaffrey got ruled out, I tweeted out, Jordan Mason is going for 100 and a touchdown. He's going for 100 and a touchdown because I believe in Jordan Mason so much. He is so good. He is so underrated. But yeah, Brandon Ayuk didn't look great, but he didn't have too much of an off season. No pass catcher really did anything crazy. Juwan Jennings, what's that?
Mention the fullback.
Kyle Juszczyk.
I love Kyle.
Had a big play. Brock missed him on another one. He had him open on like a little wheel route kinda. He had him open, but I think he checked it down to like George Kittle or something. But yeah, the
love
defense
when Juwan Jennings just goes for these random good like big
plays, and how I just said for Jordan Mason. You'll stop him for 5 and he'll gain an extra 2. That's the same thing with Juwan Jennings. He'll catch it for 8 yards. You're like, oh, there's no way he gets this first down, and he carries 2 defenders for another 3 yards. I love him so much. And this defense, the best linebacker in football. You make all the faces you want. Fred Warner.
Fred Warner
is so good. So good. There were a lot of good punch outs. There were a lot of good punch outs this first week of football.
The Saints, I'm sorry, going back to the Saints for just 1 second. Chase Young was incredible today. Not today, but Sunday. You can make that. He had the second most pressures in all of football.
Because where was this last season? And even in the preseason game.
Watch the Super Bowl.
That's it. He showed up one game for us.
He did his job.
He showed up one game for us. And even in the preseason this season, when we played him in the preseason this year with the Saints, he wanted to go crazy on us, killing Brock Purdy. I don't know what happened to him all of a sudden, and now he's just so good again. But last season, he only wanted to show up one game. Granted, it was the Super Bowl, but he only wanted to show up one game for us. But continue. Go ahead.
I just wanted to interrupt you for 1 second. I forgot to mention him for the Saints. I would have been upset with myself if we would have went this whole time and he didn't get mentioned because he was one of the best defensive players this week. Go back to your Niners. Talk about Nick Bosa.
I was actually going to mention someone else on the defensive line, Malik Collins. He was so good. Number 99. He was so good against the run. He was so good. What's his name? I'm blanking. Leonard Floyd got a sack. It should have been a half a sack if you ask me. Give Nick Bosa some credit. He did also make You look up what I'm talking about the Niners. Don't be on your phone.
I just want you to. I'm not on my phone.
Diamador Lenore had some great plays in coverage. Demo, he's the one that tipped the ball that got Demetrius Flanagan fouls the interception. Demo had a good game.
Over on the sideline.
Yeah. Demo had a good game. They had Talanoa Hufanga they said he was in, and I was like, and I was like, what the hell? No way he's in. And then it was George Odom playing, so I don't know what was up with that. But yeah, the defensive line, the defensive line looked good. Of course, number 97 looked good as always. He didn't record a sack, but on that Leonard Floyd sack, he was in there as well. I don't know why they didn't give him the half, but there were so many plays as always with Nick Bosa. I don't know what it is with Nick Bosa and the rep, huh?
Sacks don't always matter. Chase Young didn't have a sack or a tackle, but he had like 9 pressures.
And I don't know what it is with Nick Bosa and the refs. He gets held so much. So what play was it? It didn't matter in the grand scheme of things because it was, I forget what it was. They called something. They called I can't even remember, but Nick Bosa was literally getting held like this in a chokehold, and they didn't call a damn thing. Go back and watch Nick Bosa against the Chiefs in both Super Bowls. I promise you, he's held every single play. I don't know what it is with the refs. No one can block him, and they just hold him every play, but the refs just seem not to care. But we'll move on. We can move on to the Jets side of things. Go ahead. All
right, thank you. I had to let you have your little time with the Niners. Yeah. I saw this game come on, and I was like, the Niners, I could take a nap. Yeah, but Braylon, I'm just kidding, by the way. Braylon Allen is one of my favorite rookies in this entire class. He didn't play. Didn't
get the ball much at all.
Hassan Reddick is the lone player in the NFL still on holdout. I don't have any clue what's going on.
Crazy.
But this game infuriated me because I missed some of the first quarter because I took a shower.
Mm-hmm.
But Garrett Wilson's the first drive, 4 receptions, 46 yards. Almost the end of the third quarter, he had 4 receptions for 46 yards. They just didn't go back to him, and then he ended 6 for 60. Like, when he's playing that good, get him the ball.
I don't know what it was with the play calling, but their first maybe 4 plays were just runs. I don't know what happened, and they were stopped every single time. And they came back on the second drive and did it again. I don't know what they saw.
Gardner?
Huh?
What happened to Sauce Gardner?
I don't know. It looked like his shoulder or like his pec or something, but he just didn't come back in.
The commentator said that they talked to the injury,
and he was fine. Yeah, he was fine. They just decided not to go with him. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they just kept on trying to get Breece Hall going, but it just wasn't working, and then he ended up fumbling to Fred Warner. But yeah, their first like 4 plays was just run, and it just wasn't working. They were running the ball way too much early on, if you ask me. They needed to get Garrett Wilson involved a lot earlier. But I guess they just wanted to ease Aaron Rodgers back into it. But I mean, he's Aaron Rodgers. How much easy
they
does he
had
really
him early, and they just went away from him.
I don't get it. Allen Lazard looked good though. He looked good. And DJ Reed,
2024.
He looked good. DJ Reed, former Niner, he looked good as well. He had a couple nice plays out there too. They had a couple former Niners on here. We'll go through them because why not? DJ Reed, Javon Kinlaw, Solomon Thomas, and their head coach Robert Saleh. Go ahead if you
Mosley got hurt for a while, and they can't have him getting hurt. He's
another underrated linebacker. Yeah, he's really good. And Tyrod Taylor, you said best backup in the league. He came in on that last drive and looked decent. He looked decent in that last drive.
He wasn't doing nothing.
Decent. He looked decent.
It'll be Russell Wilson now. By the way, best backup.
Russell Wilson should play. He should play again.
Yeah, when they're up big.
I think that's every game.
That's all our reactions every game.
We can preview Thursday night before we get out of here. We got Bills.
We didn't even mention that, did we?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We did a bad job at yeah. Last week's episode, we appreciate the love. You guys showed a lot of love on last week's our first episode. The comments, the views, the likes. People retweeting it, and yeah, you guys showed a lot of love. So we appreciate that.
We appreciate everything. Good time.
Yeah. And we plan on doing 2 times a week. We talked about it. We plan on dropping Tuesdays and Fridays. Tuesdays will be a recap of the weekend's games, and then Fridays will be a preview of the games to come. And we'll be talking about the Thursday night game. This will probably
be our longer episode. And then the Friday one will be a little bit shorter.
Yeah. But Thursday night, we got Bills at Dolphins. How you feeling?
That'll be incredible. Do we want to predict? Probably, right?
Yeah. Give me the Bills. Easily give me the Bills.
I love Josh Allen, so also give me the Bills. I beat you last week, by the way, 10-9.
I meant to go back and look. You beat me.
I beat you.
Okay, we'll keep track throughout the season, and we'll see. We'll put something on the line. Who knows? But yeah, give me the Bills. The Bills defense didn't look good during against the Cardinals this past weekend, but I think Josh Allen is going to carry them to this win. I think it'll be a low scoring game again.
You think?
I think it'll be low scoring again. No, I think it'll be low scoring again. I see 20. Give me 23. No, give me 24. Give me 24-21 Bills. They went on a last second field goal.
That's not super low. I was thinking like 31-24.
Okay. Yeah, give me 24-21 Bills.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll also take the Bills though. So.
And then one last thing I wanted to say. With week 1, anything can happen. Things change. So I'll give you. Who was your MVP? Who'd you pick for MVP?
Of the week?
No.
Or the season? Allen.
Josh Allen. And I kind of did this because, I picked a terrible song. I was going to give you the chance to change one of your predictions. To change one of your predictions that you made in the preseason. And I'm changing my MVP from Joe Burrow to Josh Allen. You did say in the
you just swapping them because Josh Allen was
my 2, exactly. And you said because I had the Bills 13-4. You were like, Josh Allen should be your MVP if you have them 13-4. So yeah. My MVP this season is Josh Allen. Give me Josh Allen. Joe Burrow and the Bengals just look too bad for me to to continue.
Let me take out Chop Robinson then and put in a verse from the Rams because Chop Robinson's only
what I said.
His only stat was a false start.
All right. Anything else? And that's it.
I think that's it. I think that was a great episode.
All right. We appreciate you guys watching.
Absolutely.
Show some love. You know,
if you got into this far, we 100% appreciate you.
If you're still watching, put Vikings
Go
suck in the
Vikings.
comment. Put Vikings suck or go Vikings in the comments, whichever one you want to put, and we'll know you got up to this point in the episode. But yeah, as Smalls was saying, this will probably be our longer episodes of the week. Than our Friday ones will probably be a little shorter, just previewing the weekend's games. But yeah, sub, like, comment, give us some tips on anything you'd like to, see improve.
Any changes we can make.
Yeah, anything you'd like to see us talk about, and yeah, and that's it. Peace out.